and welcome to another session with Dr. Anu Sidhu, who is a certified and licensed AP chemistry teacher. In the last session, we discussed about a few important things about measurement, and today we are going to continue with measurements and calculations. Dr. Sidhu, how are you today?
Hi, Komal. I'm fantastic, and it's so nice to see you today.
It's so nice to see you today. So let's continue where we left off. What are significant figures?
Okay, great. Yes, so I have to introduce significant figures, but before that, I wanted to review a little bit about the uncertainty in measurement. So in our last session, we discussed about uncertainty in the measurement and how it arises. So it is because of the use of the devices which we are using in our labs. So that is why we have uncertainty in the measurement. And it is always the last digit which is uncertain. And here we introduce the concept of significant figures now. So what are significant figures? It is all the digits in the measurement, means all the certain digits plus one uncertain digit which is at the end of that measurement. All that is known as the significant figures. So it is certain numbers plus one uncertain number.
Okay, but how do we determine significant figures?
Yes, so for determining the significant figures, we need to follow the rules. So there are certain rules which we must use to determine the sig fig. And they are very easy rules. That's not kind of a rocket science. Once you know the rules, like once my students know the rules, they will be okay with that. So first rule is that is the non-zero integers. All the non-zero integers are considered as significant numbers. Like for example, 1457. It has 4 significant figures because they are all non-zero digits. Second rule is about the zeros, when there are zeros in the number. Now the zeros are of 3 kinds. So the first type of zero is the leading zeros. The zeros which are preceding the non-zero numbers. Those are known as the leading zeros. Like for example, 0.0025. So there are 3 zeros which are preceding the 2 non-zero digits, 0.0025. So here, these 3 zeros are not counted as significant. So in this case, we have 2 significant figures. Next type of zero is captive zero. Captive means which is sandwiched between the 2 non-zero digits. So that is known as the captive zero because it is captive between those two. So like for example, 1.008. So these 2 zeros are sandwiched between the 2 non-zero digits, 1 and 8. But they are counted as the significant figures. So it means in 1.008, there are 4 significant figures. Third type of zero is the trailing zeros. So trailing zeros are those zeros which are coming towards the right of the non-zero numbers. So the trailing zeros, they are not significant if the number is not having a decimal point. But if the number is having a decimal point, then that zero will be considered as the significant figure. So I'll give you one example. Like for example, if I write 100 without any decimal point, so it contains only one significant figure. But if I write 100 with a decimal point, 100 and decimal point, then those 2 zeros will become significant. Now, it means 100 with a decimal point has 3 significant figures. Now, the third rule is exact numbers. So what do we mean by exact numbers? Exact numbers means the numbers, the measurement which we get by counting. Like for example, 3 apples, 10 experiments, 2 pencils, right? 1 ruler. So I'm getting these by counting. So for this, it is assumed that they have infinite number of significant figures. So remember, exact numbers which we obtain by counting have infinite number of significant figures. And last but not the least, what about the scientific notation? How can we determine the sig fig for the scientific notation? So for scientific notation, like for example, the velocity of light is 3.0 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. Here the exponential part is not counted. So it means 3.0. There are two significant figures. Similarly, Planck's constant, its value is 6.626 into 10 to the power of 34 joules second. And it is only 6.626. There are 4 sig fig. So this is the way we count the sig fig for the scientific notation.
It's so interesting that how we fast forward moving towards from chemistry to maths, how it is involved and interconnected with each other.
Yes, it's very
So
interesting.
yes, it is. So how to determine significant figures in calculations?
Of course. Now in calculations, there are basically 4 mathematical operations we do. It's multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, right? It's as simple as that. Now, for doing multiplication and division, the rule is, while doing the calculation, the rule is that we need to report our answer to the least number of significant figure. But when we are doing the addition or subtraction, we need to report our answer to the least number of decimal place. So I will give a few examples for each of the calculations here. Like for example, before that, I wanted to talk something about the rounding off as well, but it's very easy. Look, for rounding off, like for example, it is 1.33 here. So if we have to remove the last number and it is less than 5, we drop it. So our answer will be 1.3. Okay, so this is the way we round off. So we take reference as the 5 to remove any digit. So if the digit to be removed is less than 5, so we say, okay, it will be just the number as it is. So if it is 1.36, so if the number is equal to 5 or greater than 5, we add. So now the answer will become 1.4 because 6 we add up, so 1.4. If it is 3.15, now the last number is 5. So we add up one number. So it will be, my answer will be 3.2. So this is the way we round off, because if the teacher is asking to report the answer in like 2 sig fig. Okay, now let us come to that calculation part. You see here, we have 4.56, which is multiplied by 1.4. And
Yes.
the answer is coming out to be 6.384. Now here what the students need to understand is they have to count that how many sig fig are present between in these two numbers. Like 4.58 has how many sig fig? 3 sig fig. 1.4 has 2 sig fig. So we have to report our answer up to 2 sig fig because out of these two, 2 is the lesser one. So our answer should be, rather than 6.384, it should be 6.3. But then 8 is bigger than 5. So we have to add 1 up. So the answer should be 6.4. Similarly, with the division, you see there is an example for the division 8.315, which is divided by 298. So how many sig fig are in 8.315? There are 4. How many sig fig are in 298? There are 3. It means we have to report our answer up to 3 sig fig because that is a lesser one. So our answer should be 2.79 into 10 to the power of -2, because 10 to the power of -2 is exponential part. We won't count it as a sig fig. So 2.79 is it has 3 sig fig. Now next, coming to the addition. So look, we added these 3 numbers, and here how many places for this 12.11? There are 2 decimal places. Here it is 18.0 is 1 decimal place. Here 1.013 is 3 decimal places. So in addition, we have to report our answer to the least number of decimal places, not about the least number of sig fig. So our answer is 31.123, but we have to stop up to only one decimal place. So our answer will be 31.1, because that is the least number. Similarly, with the subtraction, you see that our least number of decimal place is 0.1, just one decimal place. So in our final answer, rather than 0.5875, my answer should be only one decimal number. So it is 0.6. And how beautifully we have rounded it up, right? Rather than 0.58, it is rounded to 0.6. So this is the way we determine the sig fig in our calculations while doing multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction.
It's very fascinating and very interesting. Thank you so much, Dr. Sidhu, for your valuable input to letting our viewers understand this difficult thing. But I hope they'll get the hand of it. Any questions for our viewers today?
Today, I won't bore my viewers with any question, but yes, I have a joke for them. So this joke goes like this. My chemistry teacher asked me to submit the answer to 3 significant figures. So I submitted my answers to Mr. Obama, Mr. Clinton, and Mr. Biden, because these are 3 significant figures.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Sidhu.
So these are very interesting way of using these significant figures in our daily life also.
And it's also very useful for keeping the students and your viewers engaged as well.
Yes, definitely.
I hope you all are getting benefit from these sessions. We are going to hold these sessions for in the future as well for your benefit. Hope you liked this today's session. Please like and subscribe to SIDHU'S Academy on YouTube. This is your host Komal from Outland Media signing off.